These are railway men of today. New men, you could say, familiar now with the technical transformation of recent years. Rogerson, electric controller. Peter Barlow, station manager. Eric Evans, depot superintendent. Richard Sell, research engineer. Dennis Smith, Technical Chief Inspector. These are a few of the people who work on Britain's newest electric railway. The work is new, but the dedication is traditional. And the links with life around them have not much changed.
Hello, can I have control, please?
Hello? Yes?
Hello, Jack. I just had our call put out. Are you after us?
Yes, that's right. We've had the breakers out between Rugby and Brinklow, RM4 section.
Got any more information, Jack?
No, nothing at all. But the breakers stayed in. It's another ruddy crow, I think. Anyway, you'll have to patrol the section.
Right, I'll start the track patrols on.
Okay, right-o.
The old form of signalling based its position on the signals being at red. With the coming of the high-speed trains, a keep moving outlook was born. Now signals remain in the green or off position, unless of course required to caution, or reduce, or divert the train. It called for electronic and mechanical signal equal in response to the speed and flexibility of the system itself. A new outlook was called for on the part of the panel operator. In the old days, a signalman existed more or less on his own. Now, he has become a member of a team. For instance, in the panel here, we have two signalmen, the area controller at the back, and a boy who we treat with the utmost respect because he makes our team.
The next train to arrive at platform 1 will be the 09 hours from London Euston to Manchester. Passengers for Stoke, change at Stafford, for Stockport, Warrington, Widham, Cressholm.
Station managers now have a much wider responsibility than the old station masters used to.
For passengers joining this train at Rugby.
My job is forward-looking, and I must keep in touch with local developments to ensure that our passengers and commercial customers are satisfied with the service we give. Encouraging new business is part of my job as well. My own background's unusual in that I joined the railway with a technical degree and worked for a while in the signal engineering department. I later came to realize that my true wish was to go on the traffic and general management side. Eventually I moved over. I was retrained and quickly assimilated the traffic work, and am now well at home with it. My opposite number, Mr. Evans, is in charge of the nearby maintenance depot.
This control room covers an area from Northampton to a point just south of Stafford. This, of course, includes the Birmingham area. The object is to control the supply of power from the grid through the overhead line equipment to the locomotives. As it happens, we've got a little bit of trouble on now. We've had a flashover. When this happens, there's always a chance of damage to the overhead line equipment, and of course we immediately inspect it and if necessary repair it on the spot. After I've looked through the control room log in the morning, I like to get around the depot to check on the work that's being carried out, and during this period one can keep one's finger on the pulse and probably sort out any personal staff problems that may arise. As depot superintendent, I'm responsible for all the maintenance in the area. locomotives, multiple unit trains, shunters, all the civil engineering plant. Maintenance of the switchgear at the line-side buildings and the overhead equipment also come under this depot.
Dennis, is this your request or is it the...
Yes, it fits him better. Good morning.
More repair splices?
Hi. Oh, dear. Then we need them. Look at this. That's a crow.
Ah, yeah.
That's a strand of grass.
Strand of grass?
Yes. Some fault current there, you know.
There is for sure.
You know, I doubt if anybody could foresee this happening in the early days.
Of course, you're not getting this trouble where we have the solid wire, are you?
Oh, no, that solves the problem.
How are you going on with the job now?
Well, we're nearly complete north of Rugby, and I should imagine we'll finish south in the new year anyway.
Oh, incidentally, have you seen this new insulator up at the research?
No, I haven't.
Well, I'm going this afternoon. Would you like to come along?
I would. I'd like to see it. I'll be with you if I can manage it.
Fair enough. Cheer up.
Cheerio. How's it going, Frank?
All right, Dennis. I've made 3 6-foots up and we're going to make 2 more 4-foots.
Some of the men working here today have been transferred from the old engine sheds, where for most of their lives they've been working on steam locomotives, and it's quite interesting to see the way that the boiler smiths, the coppersmiths, fitters, brick archmen and so on have adapted themselves to the complexities of the electric locomotive.
You remember those low clearance bridges where we used leaf spring supports with porcelain insulators to get rid of the hard spot?
Yes.
Well, we thought it'd be a good idea if we could use a support member of glass fibre which would act as a spring and an insulator combined. And now we think we've got something near. You see how springy this is.
And is this okay for high speed?
Oh yes, we've already tested it at about 80 miles an hour, and we think it will give you better collection on your 100 mile an hour route.
Hello, can I have control, please?
Right, I'm putting you through now.
Hello.
Hello, Paul Sims here. I found the trouble, Jack. The crow at Overbridge 8.
One moment, please.
Right?
Jack. Overbridge 8, structure 8519, so you'll need an isolation.
Yes.
What's your telephone number, please?
N212.
N212. Will you stand by that telephone?
Okay.
Jack, would you inform the overhead inspector that they found the cause of the trouble? Overbridge 8, structure 8519. The first essential is to pinpoint the exact location of the trouble. The isolation entails switching off the current so that the lads can work safely. And obviously we want to put the smallest area out of action as possible.
Hello.
Hello, Wal. Jack here.
Hello, Jack.
We need an isolation as soon as possible at Overbridge 8, on the down slow.
Overbridge 8 on the down slow. Ah, righto, Jack, we'll see what we can do.
Have you got your form ready?
Yes, right away.
From J. Rogerson at Rugby, working with a 25,000 volt supply, a great deal of care must be taken to guarantee the safety of the lads working out on the wires. A simple set of forms filled in and signed over the phone covers each person's responsibility and makes sure everyone knows exactly what is happening. Received by W. Kilby. Have you got it, Wal?
Yes.
Thanks very much. Cheerio.
Arthur? Dennis? They want an isolation on the down slow at Overbridge number 8.
Oh, yes. When are we going to give it to them? Are there any specials today?
No, let's have a look. We could manage it in about an hour.
a signalman may control trains over, say, 20 miles of railway, which could have, well, 4 lines of track with trains of varying speeds. We'll let train A go forward, hoping that it will keep its position on the panel and we'll get away with a regulating point. Sometimes it doesn't come off, and then, my word, don't the sparks fly. We get edgy and itchy. But supposing a bit of regulation does come off, and then, oh boy, we've done a good job.
Well, thanks very much, Mr. Selbert. I must get off to this isolation now.
All right, well, if you want to see some more, just give me a ring anytime you're free.
Right, thanks very much, I will indeed. Cheerio, Dennis. Cheerio.
Cheerio. Now let's have a look at the rest of it. You know we're all thinking of speeds quite a bit faster than your present 100 miles an hour. And of course, the faster we go, the harder it is to solve the problems of getting good current collection. Now, to avoid building a test track, which might cost $1 million, I suppose, we're using this rig to prove a mathematical simulation taking into account all the variables, span length, wire tension, sag, the lot. This means we have to set up the equations and get the calculations done on a computer.
How does this compare with research in other countries?
Well, very closely. In fact, this work is partly sponsored and paid for by the International Railway Union. And if we succeed, we shall have the answers not only for British Rail, but for any overhead railway electrification system in the world.
I was trained in the Navy during the war as an electrical mechanic, and after the war I returned to railway service, first as a clerk at Mansfield, and then progressed through the grades in the operating department. After a time, I saw an opportunity in the electric traction engineers department where I could use my previous naval training and transferred to a position as overhead line inspector at Longside. A difficult decision to make at the time of transferring from one department to the other, as I've been engaged in the operating department for a considerable time.
That train has just cleared, Walter. They could isolate now, couldn't they?
Hello, Jack. Well, here. Right, you can have your isolation. Your message 1543. I'm ready with part 2. Are you ready? From Rugby area controller to electric control operator J. Rogerson at Rugby. The line stated in your message number 15.
How are we doing, Frank?
All right, Dennis. It'll be a few moments before we get the isolation, but as soon as we do, we can get on with the job.
Good. Time of issue, 1501. Person in charge of work, J. Dorman. All right, Jack?
Yes?
Not now, we're going up the track now to start the job. Right, Keitha, pulls up now.
About 6 months after the first energisation on the Rugby area, we encountered a mystery whereby at several bridges we were getting a flashover from the equipment to a bridge, and there was no evidence to show what had caused the flashover. A senior member of the staff suggested that it could be birds nesting. Nobody else agreed with him, so he was treated more or less as a nutcase at this stage. However, after a further 12 or 15 incidents of this kind, we began to pay more attention to this theory and eventually found a place where the flashover had occurred, where in fact there was a burnt strand of grass hanging from the top of the bridge. On further investigation we found definitely that this was the cause, that the birds in the morning and in the evening as they rebuilt the nests, carrying the strands of grass into the girders of the bridge, were touching the wire and causing the flashovers.
3-4 comes off the carriage yet. I think that coming into a box of this nature has been a two-way process. Those people who came into this, merged with it, fought out the problems involved, have been rewarded by a sense of seeing in actual electronic and mechanical operation something of their own makeup.
Oh well, looks as if they're nearly finished now, guys. It's on its way down. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. How was that for time, Dennis?
Oh, 28 minutes, Frank. Not bad.
Not too bad.
Good, we can get the ladders down.
Yeah, get the ladders down, Frank, and tell the other two to get there.
Well, I'll see you back in the depot.
You're on your way then?
Yeah.
Okay then,
Cheer
Dennis.
up.
Hello, Peter. I want electric control, please.
Hello?
Hello, Jack. Jack Dorman here. Right, now this job's completed now on the down slow.
Right, it's Form C number 1603. Cancelled at 1704. 1704, your clock's a bit on wheels, I think. Over to Part 4. J. Rogerson at Rugby, message number 1602. Yes, yes. Sent by J. Dorman. Are your boys out on the switches? They better be too.
Well, 1836 is well before time. It's getting into the isolation.
Hold on, Arthur. Clear.
From my earliest days, I tried not to be a signalman to get a job where I thought any inherent faculty, either artistic or otherwise, might be appreciated, but I've had to be, or tried to be, a simple, competent signalman. And I wouldn't say that that hasn't had its compensations. Well, dealing with 100 miles an hour trains now, which on this new 300-foot rail system sing along. And indeed, it could be called the poetry of motion. You'd have to drag this out of the average bloke, but if you got to the heart of him, you would find that he does live railway. He's got to live railways. He gives to his job and his outlook all that he has. And oddly enough, it's not altogether a one-way process. It does give back to you opportunities of reflection and speculation which enrich you because you have given to it all you've got.
It's a size, that nest up there, Dennis.
It is. We're going to have some trouble with these buggers in a bit when the young ones leave the nest.
Just look at that one coming in, the size of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Why, it wouldn't take much for him to flash across them. Black bastards, aren't they?
Yeah, it's a bit too close for comfort, this rookery, you know. And of course they're picking up all this stuff thrown out of the restaurant cars. Then wipe the beak on the catenary wheel and away she goes. Quick grill. Nothing you can do till they learn better.
Oh well, they've got just as much right here as we have. Probably more so.
Yeah, I wish they'd learn to take care of themselves though.
It does give back to you opportunities which enrich you because you have given to it